Imagine waking up to the news that 20% of the world's oil supply has just been halted. Oil prices surge. Panic grips markets. Warships scramble. And the world asks a terrifying question: has Iran just shut down the Strait of Hormuz? This narrow chokepoint, just 21 miles wide at its narrowest, carries nearly a fifth of global petroleum. Every day, massive oil tankers squeeze through it, leaving Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Iraq, and Kuwait. It's arguably the most critical artery in the global energy system. And Iran sits right beside it. For decades, Iranian officials have threatened to close the strait in retaliation to Western sanctions or military threats. But if they actually did it, who would shoot first? Let's break this down. Iran has the tools: fast attack boats, naval mines, coastal missile systems, and now swarms of drones. Tehran's strategy wouldn't require a massive navy. All it would take is disrupting the flow, creating just enough chaos to make insurers pull out, shipowners hesitate, and the world panic. But the moment even a single commercial vessel is harassed, the world will react. And the United States would be first in line. Stationed just across the water in Bahrain is the US Navy's Fifth Fleet. Its entire mission is to ensure freedom of navigation in the Persian Gulf and surrounding waters. They've drilled for this scenario over and over again. But would the US actually fire first? If Iranian boats start laying mines or boarding tankers, Washington wouldn't need much justification. According to international maritime law, the Strait of Hormuz qualifies as an international strait, meaning all ships have the right of transit passage even through Iranian territorial waters. Blocking that is a breach of international law. So if Iran moves to enforce a blockade, the US would likely respond quickly, but with calculated force. Perhaps first with surveillance and warning shots. Then disabling Iranian vessels. Maybe drone strikes on missile sites along the coast. The first actual lethal shot could very well come from an American destroyer, or even a carrier-launched aircraft. But don't forget, this isn't just about the US. The United Kingdom, France, and even smaller NATO allies would almost certainly back the operation. In 1987, during the Iran-Iraq War, the US launched Operation Earnest Will, reflagging Kuwaiti tankers with American flags and escorting them through the strait. They even exchanged fire with Iranian forces. That playbook still exists. So in truth, this wouldn't be a war between just Iran and one country, it would be Iran versus the world's shipping lifeline. Still, Iran knows what it's doing. It has invested heavily in asymmetric warfare, using speedboats to swarm large vessels, deploying underwater mines disguised as fishing buoys, and leveraging civilian shipping to blur the lines between commerce and conflict. These tactics are designed to provoke without triggering full-scale retaliation. But there's a catch. If Iran does pull the trigger, mines a tanker, launches a missile, or even boards a ship, it risks catastrophic retaliation. Not just military strikes, but total diplomatic isolation. China and India, two of Iran's largest oil buyers, would be forced to choose between cheap energy and the global economy. And they wouldn't side with the blockade. So, who fires the first real shot? If Iran moves decisively, if it actually mines the strait or blocks a vessel, it is almost guaranteed that the United States would shoot first. Not as provocation, but as a response. Not out of aggression, but out of necessity. Because letting Iran shut down Hormuz would mean economic suicide for the planet. But if Tehran uses only the threat of closure? That's the gray zone. That's where global diplomacy lies, and where miscalculations are made. At TriviaTales, we explore the stories behind global power moves. And this one might be the most dangerous game of brinkmanship on Earth. Because in this case, the first shot won't just start a war, it might crash the global economy in a single